everything's flowing.
Oh, hey everyone. This little pre getting the video together loves.
Did you do that on purpose?
What?
Filming me kissing you.
I just had the camera rolling already.
Okay.
Hey everyone. Welcome to part 2 of our video.
Peace and blessings, everyone. There's a Gambian dog walking on the side of me, or he just plopped down on the sand.
So
There's a
comfortable.
lot of them around here. We'll talk about animals today. But yeah, this is part 2. We covered quite a lot during our previous video. Any thoughts on that, honey?
So now we're going to take some time to recap a little bit from the first video. In case you have not watched the first video and you're just catching up on number 2, go back and watch the first one. It is very informative, it is educational, it's a bit entertaining, and yeah, just kind of gives you more of a sense of who we are and why we're here in the Gambia, and a little bit more of our journey as we share more. So this is part 2, and we're going to kind of go over some of the things we talked about in the first video and then jump right into the second half.
Oh, I just thought about, so this is check out this beautiful brand that we're wearing today. So this is a good friend of mine. Her name is Kritika Patel. She's from Zambia. So she lived in, sounds just like Gambia, but with a Z. She lived in Oklahoma for a while. She's a nutritionist, an artist,
Talented.
designer. She does a lot of stuff, but this is her design here. It's really dope,
It's
right?
dope, very
so
dope.
We're showing her some love today, and we may be working with her in the future. We'll tag her on here. So
yeah. What is
folks
this?
can look
What
her
is this?
up.
This shirt is like, so it's simple, but it's deep too.
Yeah.
The first person that can tell me what this shirt might mean to you in the comment section, we're gonna have a little surprise for you.
A little something,
A little something for you. So yeah, but
So yeah.
great shout out, honey.
Yes.
We spreading the wealth out here. You know, if
Spreading
you
the
have
love.
we actually have a lot of black-owned business brands that we brought with us, and so as you see us continue to share our videos, you will see them also displayed in our videos. So yeah. So I'm saying, just support each other,
For
support
sure.
one another, get the word out. So yeah, this is just one of many that you will see.
Yeah,
in
and
the future.
she is African, a native Zambian. So she is back here living, and like I said, we may be connecting with her. We definitely will be connecting with her in the future. So
What's the Zambian currency?
I don't know. Leave it out.
That's
You
the
asking me
second
questions
time,
that
Lord.
you know I don't know.
I didn't know you didn't know, but I don't know either. But I just thought
We'll
maybe you
just
could
crop
educate
this
me
whole
on
section
something.
out.
No, we're not.
But anyway.
Everything is staying.
I don't know what the Zambian currency
What
is.
I was getting to is that we're going to be circulating that Zambian dollar. Okay, it's not the American dollar. Oh, it just moved back to Zambia.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're circulating that Zambian dollar. I'll find out what it is and I'll put it on here somewhere.
Yeah. So that's
All
that.
right.
So anywho.
Oh, speaking of
Go ahead.
apparel, that's our first recap point.
Of course.
One of the people, several people that have reached out to us regarding our first video wanted to know where to get our Speak Life apparel. That is coming soon. As
Very,
of
very
right now,
soon.
we are chilling. Okay, so
We're still kind of in like, I guess, transition mode, adjusting mode. Like we're just getting settled and embracing like the moment of this experience right now. So we'll get to it for sure.
And we're working on our website, and so like once that is all up and running, and you'll be able to just order straight from
Yeah.
the site. So
The website is there. There's a beautiful outline if you want to check out our backgrounds, our bios, and just see and learn more about us, who we are, and what we do. You can definitely check it out.
For sure. Yeah. So the apparel items are there. There will be more coming, but once we get everything, in motion, start working on that more intently, we will have everything available for everybody around the world, because we are Black Fruit International. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so first things first, we did not know what GMT. We should have known that.
We should have known.
We should have known.
We
It definitely was not Gambian time.
Greenwich Mean Time.
Greenwich Mean Time. I told him before we looked it up. I told him I thought it was like Gorgarian. I don't know where I got that from.
Gorgarian.
Isn't there something called a Gorgarian?
I've heard of gargantuan.
I don't know. What's the name of the
To describe size.
what's the name of this? Like a European calendar.
Gorgarian.
I don't know. Maybe I made that up. Maybe it does exist. But anyway, it's not either one of those. It's Greenwich Mean Time. That's the time zone that we're in here in the Gambia, West Africa. So,
now you know. Now we all know.
Now we all know
Greenwich
what it really,
Mean
really
Time.
is. So a few more things that we wanted to recap on and highlight, and just to clarify some of the points that we mentioned in the previous video. Go back and watch that, is about negotiating. Like we said before, that can be a stressful process, but you can keep it light, keep an open mind and be aware of how you approach people, especially when doing business and when shopping and things like that. But yeah, it's something new that you have to learn just being here in Africa in general, because when we were in Kenya the first time, that's when we were first introduced to the concept of you can negotiate your price, whatever it is that you're shopping for. Here it could be a banana, it could be a house, whatever you're buying.
Everything's negotiable. Everything is negotiable. And have some fun with it too. Like she's mentioned, it doesn't have to be stressful, especially if you know the price of something.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when people assume that you don't know how much something's supposed to cost, and you do, that creates a very interesting back and forth.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I didn't know you knew that this orange was 10 cents as opposed to 50 cents, but now that you do, okay, I'll give it to you for 10. But still, they're just trying to see one, what you know, what you don't know,
and
how they can benefit, at the highest level. So
and it's business.
It's business at the end of the day. So just come with your skin thick, and don't take it personal, because whatever the price is, it's not going to kill you probably. But if you can try to get yourself a savings, or take a couple of more dollars and put them in your pocket, then that will be a good thing for you.
For sure. So know that is a possibility. So we also talked about in the previous video hygiene, and how cultural practices can be normal based on just your location, where you are, what you're, just being open and mindful of that. And a lot of cultures embrace their natural smell, and that's okay. And all you got to do is mind your business. You ain't got to judge them. You ain't got to do nothing. You ain't
Just
gotta do
mind
none
your
of that.
business.
Just mind your business.
Yeah.
So that's all. Language. We talked about language a lot yesterday, and where
Gave
we
y'all
are.
some examples, some real life examples.
Real tools. Put them to
was
use.
like in person with somebody
in action.
speaking.
Yeah.
But we actually had our first lesson.
We did.
Last night.
We had our very first official Wolof lesson here in the Gambia. And oh my God, we met the sister, the elder sister who teaches the class. She's from Oakland. She's from my father's hometown. So that was super dope. And she's a nurse. So we connected. We had a lot to talk about. But I'm gonna ask her how she would like us to share her teaching platform and If so, we can add that in the video as well. But that was pretty dope to really get a formal lesson on the language. Because so far we've just been having our friends, our local friends, like teach us here and there, or you know, just kind of go back and forth with things, which is fun and cool to do that. But it's good to have, like I said, that formal instruction and guidance and more like background on, you know, the cultural aspects of language. And also tone is important. Like tone and melody is something that stood out to me that we learned. Facial expression, body language, like all of that comes into play. The vowel sounds are different, so they still have the A, E, I, O, U, but they're different sounds. So that was also something that we learned that stood out to me. But it was a great lesson. We're excited to learn more, and yeah, we're gonna be fluent in no time.
In no time. Well, I think one thing she also talked to us about was like just repeating what you hear people say.
Yes.
So like this morning, I was actually talking with, and she said something to me when I told her Nakasubasi. Like, she said Subasi Makna, which is the morning. The morning is good.
Okay.
And so I recognize that, but I hadn't heard that as a response yet. But just being able to put those two together, and so the brain started clicking a little bit.
So Nakasubasi
and Subasi Bakna.
Subasi Bakna.
The morning is good.
Yeah.
So yeah, just listening to people, how they speak, the way they're saying the words, even the animation they use when they're saying certain words, their eyes may be popping out sometimes, or they may be saying certain parts of the word higher or in a deeper or lower tone.
Right. I mean, kind of like in English when you're saying certain things and you're emotional, but also the tones.
But it's kind of like
it has meaning when you know the tones that they use in the language has meaning. So
the volume will change the meaning sometimes.
Yeah. So it's interesting to learn, but yeah, we'll be talking more Wolof and Mandinka and whatever else we learn along our journey. So I think also something important to touch on as far as language when you're communicating with locals who speak very limited English is to, we did say this before, is to keep it simple, you know, avoid using unnecessary words or like fluff in sentences because that can get very confusing. No slang because most of them don't really know all of that or what that means, or like when we say phrases that have meaning to us and we understand them, like they, you know, it's nothing. It doesn't translate effectively. So yeah, definitely be mindful of that. And one thing that I learned just in my interactions with people is that synonyms are good to know. Like, just think of, like, if you say a word for something specifically, they might not know, like, for example, window, they say glass for window.
It's the glass.
If you are riding in the back seat with your driver and you say, hey, can you roll down this window? They're like, what's a window? But if you say, can you lower the glass? They say, they understand lower the glass. So, you know, keep that in mind for sure. Also, restroom and bathroom, that's often called the washroom.
Or toilet.
Or just toilet. They'll just say, you know, there's the toilet.
Just today when we were here, I was asking a guy, can I throw some trash in the trash can? And he's looking at me like, what? And so I even motioned like, okay, I got some stuff in my hand, I want to put it, you know, in a trash can. He's like, oh, dustbin. I said, yeah, the same thing. So just, you know, there is something for the word that you're trying to communicate, but it just maybe not that word that you know first and foremost.
It may even be called a waste bin.
Waste bin.
I've heard that too. So, yeah.
But it's just so fun just to hear about just, you know, how different, you know, life is, words are, languages for different people around the world. So it's been an exciting and funny journey listening to some of the ways that things are explained.
For sure. So a big topic that we hit on was romanticizing Africa and how there are so many concepts and perspectives and ideas around that. But one thing that's that I feel is important to mention is that, you know, as lovely and as beautiful as this place is, and, you know, it feels like a sense of home, of peace, of like a safe haven for us, where someone can come and just cultivate their own sense of freedom and find their inner peace. And that's, you know, speaking about just us specifically and what that means for us. But also it's necessary to discuss some of the negative aspects of that can come along with the experiences and challenges. So like some of the things that we have maybe witnessed or
heard
stories,
other people talk about.
Yeah, their experiences.
You just have to really come with your antennas up. You have to be highly aware.
Yeah.
You have to be very vigilant and cautious. You know, of course, it's a great place, beautiful place, lots of opportunity, lots of sense of peace just being here on the land. But you have to just be aware that, you know, there are differences between you and the people who are homeborn on the continent, and they have their own feelings and thoughts about that. And as much as we want to feel just that automatic connection, there are things we need to learn so that we don't get into a position where we're over trusting or overly, you know, accepting of things, and it comes back to bite us.
Oh, dog's fighting over here. Man, that was ruthless.
That didn't came to help, huh? He's hobbling.
Right.
There's a little pecking order going on over here.
Yeah. These dogs be vicious out here, y'all. Wild dogs. Can y'all see that?
Play nice, guys.
There are 3 of them right here. Sometimes we see like packs of 10, 12 dogs together. Look at that black and white one. You rarely see black or white ones. They're mostly brown. Just to add on to what you were saying about not being so overly trusting as far as that, but also, you know, you don't want to be walking around being overly paranoid either, you know. So it's just finding the sense of balance and getting to know each other, getting to know people, and feeling comfortable and confident in those around you and the experiences that you engage in. I think that's important. But
and
like,
also, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like the stories that you were saying that we heard of, like people getting taken advantage of. You know, that's something that does happen. And you just want to, you know, be aware, like you said, be highly vigilant of those things. You know, this is not everyone's experience, of course, but it does happen. And a lot of the things that do happen can be avoided or prevented in some way. So just being, you know, just use your brain and use your intuition, most importantly.
You want to speak on women traveling here alone?
Women traveling here alone?
I think that may be, because honestly, I feel like
who I know personally.
That was
like from the diaspora specifically, or
I just think that when we heard like the horror stories, most of the time it was like a woman who was by herself or didn't have, you know, somebody else here to either help bounce ideas off of, or just like a strong support system where like, you know, there was an extra layer of protection.
Yeah.
And not saying that there aren't women who go and travel the world. Yeah,
because there are.
They
very,
do their thing.
You know, very safely and successfully.
But a lot of the times when we've heard stories about the Gambia specifically, I can speak to that. It's been situations where women have came here by themselves and, you know, have put all their reliance and trust in somebody local that they found to help them or assist them. And, you know, in their words, you know, they make it seem like things are what they are supposed to be. And a month later, 2 months later, 6 months later, a year later, this person has totally flipped the script on it. And just be mindful.
Yeah, and finding your community, you know.
Doing
your research. Yeah, we're going to talk more about that, but do your research and learn about, you know, people who are in similar spaces as you are in.
Yeah, and there are also women's groups.
Yes.
So there may be other women traveling, and they also,
you may not have to travel alone.
They've also kind of came together or found a way to support each other as they navigate new areas. So always look into that as another option.
Yeah.
You know, women's groups or women who are also there to support other women who are single or by themselves.
And I think as far as like being able to avoid or prevent these things, and just having the right tools and information in place is definitely, imperative for sure. And we're going to build more on that as we go along throughout these topics, but we just wanted to recap those things. And then the last thing that we wanted to recap on is boundaries. Something that we have seen on the beach. People will change clothes on the beach or undress in front of you, and that's a normal, natural thing. They're not
trying to be
trying to cover it up. It's just they just got out the water. They trying to put on their dry clothes, and if you see something, you just keep
happen
moving.
to be around.
You just happen to be around. Mind your business. Yeah. So, I think also just to say that breastfeeding totally normal. Whip the boob out, put baby on the breast. Hey, baby gotta eat. That's a normal and natural thing. So I think that's beautiful for that to be widely open and accepted in the culture here, because we don't experience that specifically in the U.S. With all the stuff going on. But
Oklahoma's different though. We just
wow.
Yeah, we just
this is a real law. There's a real law in Oklahoma where women can walk, can be topless. I haven't followed up on that in a while, so if something has changed, somebody comment and let us know. But the last that we did see and hear on that was that there was a law passed in Oklahoma where women can be topless. So whatever you are comfortable in your skin, feel free. Okay, so I think that touches on our recaps. What you think?
Yeah.
We ready to dig into the new stuff, because we still got a lot of good stuff. Where we left off on negotiations, I believe.
Okay, So
this ties right into that.
Yeah, so negotiating and then new items versus secondhand items. Gambia is an import country. Most of the goods that come from here are from other places around the world. And so you see a lot of secondhand items being sold, being brought in. That could be cars, that could be clothing, that could be appliances, that can be almost anything that you could buy can be sold secondhand, or may have came from another country. That does not mean there are not producers here of certain things, but you have to know the difference between buying something secondhand where you're from and getting a secondhand price as the difference between buying something secondhand here and paying for it like it's brand new. That is something that was very eye-opening for us, because there are a lot of secondhand items and goods, and they got brand new price tags on them.
Some of them, not everything.
Some of them, but for the most part, even if you import a car, within a limit of the time, like if say for instance if it's above a 2015, or maybe even above a 2010. That may still very well may be considered a new vehicle here. But there are vast differences between what you can get new and what you can get secondhand. And most of the things that you find new, are maybe double and triple the price of the country of your origin, because they had to pay something to bring it over here. So that is another thing to be mindful of, because everything here is not brand new, and some things that are brand new are double and triple the price of a brand new item, and some things that are secondhand are like brand new prices also.
And not to say there's anything wrong with buying secondhand, but if you do, especially like with appliances or electronics or whatever, you just want to make sure that it's in the quality, working condition, it's not been damaged or whatever. Test it out in the store before you
plug it
hand
in,
over your money.
Start it up, whatever you got to do.
All of that.
But please,
all of that.
Whew. Yeah. Just test things out,
and they won't be offended, because that's that's normal. Like, you want to check it out.
I bought some headphones.
Oh yeah.
And then a Gambian guy, driver, took us to buy some headphones, and of course I was testing it out, and I put one of the buds in my ear, And I said, okay, yeah, it's working. And the guy's like, both of them? Like both sides? And I was like, that's a good question. But yeah, both of them were working. But the little stuff like that you don't even think about, because you come from America and you buy something new out of the box and you just expect for it, both like everything to work.
Yeah.
You still might have to test to make sure it is what it is.
And these weren't these brand new?
It was in the box, brand new.
They were
but
brand
he wanted
new.
me to make sure that both
them,
sides work, because you don't never know.
I mean, it's some stuff that they sell brand new in the box. It may still potentially be something used, because they could have just put it back in the box or whatever, repackaged it. So just something to be aware of as far as that.
All right, food.
Everybody asks us
asks me, what are you guys eating out there?
Yeah.
Do they got KFC?
Do they got restaurants?
Do they got a McDonald's?
What y'all be cooking?
No, but they don't have that stuff.
They don't have McDonald's.
One of the things we love about being in Africa is you have so much access to just, natural, unprocessed, injected, just foods that are in their purest form. And it's all around you. We just been sitting here at the beach for a little bit, and like our last video, we bought vegetables, but this time we brought some fruits.
And nuts.
And some nuts.
And something new that we discovered today.
So all this stuff we bought at the
dropping
beach.
all fruit.
It's okay.
And this is a new, it's like it's a fruit, actually.
What does she call it?
She called it solum solum.
Solum solum.
Solum solum. I'm not a very good camera person.
You go.
There we go. That's what it looks like. They're like little brown.
They look like little Hershey's or something. But they're like
they look like little chocolate drops, but they not. They sweet on the inside. They got a little kind of rusty colored substance, like fiber, and it's sweet, and it's really good. Like, I was very surprised. And we've been here for 4 weeks, and even the first time we visited, never seen these.
And
so
obviously
we're constantly discovering new things.
Yeah. As far as our diet is concerned, we are mostly plant-based. Obviously, Africa still has that to offer. We actually ate today at a Vibrations Kitchen, which is a plant-based kitchen. The lady,
now that food right there, it'll make you want to be plant-based vegan. Let me tell you.
Miss Tasha is from, her family's from Jamaica, but she came here from the UK.
Yeah.
And so it's here now, just, man, in that kitchen going.
I mean, that food is just...
It's good.
It just speaks to your soul.
It's nourishing. You can just tell, like, when you eat something that is life-giving, it just makes you feel different. And that food right there just...
It's different.
Whoa.
And delicious.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. So there are plant-based options. If you're somebody who is not, vegetarian, vegan, obviously you can have most of the things that you have back home. It may just be prepared a little differently.
Yeah, you can have
They have burgers, they have chicken, they have pizza, they have fish, they have shrimps, they have, everything. It just may be prepared in a different way. And it may not be as bad for you either as some of the things you may get on the state side.
Yeah, as far as like the chemicals and preservatives and things like that are allowed by the FDA, you won't really find that here. I was just gonna say, if you go to the the grocery store, the supermarket, which they do have those, you can still find some processed foods in there. But for the most part, and another thing is, when shopping in those grocery stores, it's important to check your expiration dates, because that can be a thing. That can be a real life thing, to where you're sold something that is completely expired and it's still on the shelf like normal, and it's not normal. So check your expiration dates really anywhere, because I did that even in the US, because I'm just kind of I'm one of those kind of people. But yeah.
So I bought some chips that I thought were healthy, and they had an expiration date. It was supposed to expire months from now, right? And the chip tastes so different. And I'm using different because
stale. That chip was hard as a rock.
I mean, it was a brand of chip I'd never had before. The expiration date seemed to be good, but when I opened the bag and I ate one, stale was the first thing that came to mind. And I started thinking to myself, like, man, well, maybe this is the way that chip was made. Maybe this is the texture of it.
But it was not good.
Yeah, even when you check the expiration dates, if you're unsure, just buy one of something, okay? Because you would not like to buy something in quantity, and all of it's bad, or maybe the expiration dates were misleading. So just something to think about as you're shopping, grocery shopping, especially grocery shopping. Check the dates and buy a little at a time.
We were talking about restaurants. We mentioned like American style food that is here. You can find it pretty widely throughout. But as far as restaurants specifically, this country, it ain't no McDonald's. It ain't no, like, I would say there are no chain restaurants. Yeah, here. There's no like franchise chain restaurants in this specific country. But if you go to Kenya,
there's stuff.
South Africa, we haven't been to South Africa, but I know it's there. But Kenya, we saw KFC. But here in the Gambia, you won't find those restaurants. But there are like mock-up versions of.
Yeah, there's a yummy fried chicken.
Yeah, it's YFC.
YFC. And they have more than chicken too, so it's kind of.
And there was also something on the menu. It said KFC chicken. Like that was just their trade name. I'm like, can they do that? They cannot do that. But it said KFC
little trademark
chicken.
issue.
But it's like a a marketing technique to say, oh, it's like KFC chicken kind of thing.
Just to put your mind to thinking you're about to get there.
Exactly, and you're not.
Get Colonel Sanders' secret recipe.
And you're not. And another thing about restaurants that we have experienced is like if you go to one place and you find a dish that you really like, it's something good, and you want to go back there again and order that same exact thing, the same exact way, it may not be the same because a lot of everything here is seasonal.
Right.
Everything is seasonal, so it's based on availability of those particular ingredients for that dish. So it may not be the same way the next time. Not that it's gonna be,
it won't be terrible, but it may not be the same
exactly.
flavor that made you say
be a little different
the first time.
So don't get mad and not tip folks or cuss out the waiter for that, but just know that that's a common thing. It's normal.
It's normal.
But if you order a traditional Gambian dish, that's gonna be the same. That's not gonna never change. That's not gonna never change. So, food delivery. So there's no like Uber Eats. There's no
DoorDash.
No Grubhub. But there is what we recently discovered. There's a local delivery service here.
Fat.
And it's spelled FAT, like fat. So that is the Gambian local delivery service, and they, I think we saw it that day when we were out somewhere. But it's like they have a motorbike or like a motorcycle, whatever, with a carrying basket on the back, or for them to deliver your food. But there's like a WhatsApp number, that you can order from, and
we'll leave that information for you just in case you're interested. We will. They also have another one.
We haven't got to use it yet, though. Have we?
Did call them, but they didn't
we
come.
Tried
they didn't come
because we was
to
too
our
far.
Area. Yeah, we were too
they told us
away.
we was too far,
and it was late too. We know how the traffic is, so it was just not ideal for us
or them.
They have another. They have another. I'm not sure if they are what they do deliver, but it's called Kong.
Oh, Kong.
We just seen their little vehicles with the baskets as well.
Yeah. And speaking of Kong, that's like a saying.
That's like knock knock.
It's like knock knock. That's what they say when you say knock knock. They say Kong. So we cracked up when we first heard that. Yeah. So restaurants, there may be a distance for you to drive to a specific place. If you go to like a local market to shop and get food, it's usually like right there, because there are local markets everywhere, pretty widespread. But If you want to go to a specific restaurant, you may have to drive a little bit through a lot of traffic to get there. So, yeah.
With that point, I would say when you come here, find out what things you'll need for yourself. Like, whether that be just access to the grocery store or a market, or just your basic necessities day in and day out, your toilet paper, your essentials. Find out where you're going to be staying and what proximity those things are. Because right now, where we're staying is very far from, all of the action,
all the happenings.
And that's okay. But we're going to be changing that soon. But for the meantime, in this place that we're staying temporarily, it is a bit of a distance from the main markets and things like that.
Depending on traffic, it could take us at least 30 minutes to an hour to get there.
Yeah.
Depending on the traffic, and if it's raining that day, it might take longer. But anyway, that's that. We pretty much, for the most part, we do our shopping at the local markets as far as our fresh fruits and vegetables. And then we do go to some of the grocery stores, some of the supermarkets. One of them specifically is called Marin's, and they have
very nice
some.
Supermarket.
It is. It's pretty nice, and they have some plant-based, like vegan snacks. So that's why I like to go there. Is for those little things. But yeah, you can pretty much find stuff that you would find in the U.S. if you go to an actual grocery store. For the most part, you're gonna find the same types of things. The same brand, maybe not. A lot of different brands. A lot of the stuff comes from South Africa. We've seen like some of the fruits are imported from South Africa. Of course, some are grown locally here, but we've noticed that as well.
Sanitation. If you go to a restaurant or some place to eat, know how your body functions as it pertains to, like,
just when you travel.
Yeah, even eating new dishes or traveling to places where things don't necessarily operate the same as far as a traditional kitchen, or some of the regulations that we have in the States when it comes to running a restaurant. We had an experience in Kenya.
A near-death experience. I don't know. For me.
Oh Lord, like we had a dish.
We was both sick, but
oh my God, yeah.
I was almost dying.
I feel like okay, but yeah, just be mindful, because sometimes when you're in a new place, new country, the water, just like you drink water out of your faucet in the States, it may not be the same as drinking water out of the faucet. And some places will warn you, do not drink this water. Yeah. Because your body is not, acclimated to that.
That goes for tap water.
Or, just you don't have the system to deal with, what that water is going to do to your body.
Right, because the environment here it's a completely different environment. So the local people who are native to this area, their microbiome is different. They have different gut flora, bacteria, to where they can handle drinking the tap water just fine, and it won't disturb them. But not being born and raised here, if you drink the water here, it's gonna mess you up. So don't drink the tap water. But there is plenty of bottled water, different types of bottled water available. And I'm gonna actually want to do a separate video on the bottled water specifically. I've been doing some research on the brands of bottled water that's here, and the contents, and
you'll find this one a lot. This is
this is one of the common ones that you'll see.
Best. Yeah. These are everywhere.
Yeah.
Either sold like this in smaller,
or huge ones,
or a bigger one.
So yeah, we'll talk more about the water as far as drinking water. So we're working to, because we're still kind of settling into our place, our goal is to be doing more cooking. So I've cooked how many meals? About 3, maybe.
Yeah.
I cooked about 3 meals so far in Africa, and it was bomb. It was delicious.
Okay.
He loved it.
It was fire. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah, I know you wouldn't.
I ain't gonna
You
lie
never
to
do. Yeah, so you can cook very good here and eat well. We found us some good seasonings at the grocery store.
We love peri peri.
Yes,
Peri
peri
sauce,
is
like the new hot sauce.
Yeah, it's like Louisiana or or something, or like you know, something
just
like that.
hot pepper sauce.
Yeah, it's delicious.
Very good.
And it has some good ingredients, no preservatives and nothing like that. So yeah, and as far as like living, like lifestyle and the way of living here, when we talk about
on the food topic, we bought those vegetables on the last video, and we're gonna show you a little short clip of
because we made something.
Yeah, what she did with that. It was
I hooked
wow.
it up. So thank you, honey, for pointing that out. So water, electricity, and internet, and phone. So let's put all those in the same category because we get a lot of questions about, you know, they have running water. Do they have electricity? Do they have internet? You know, what?
The answer to that, all of that is sometimes. Well, it just depends on where you are. They have a local system here for the water, you know, for their electricity, and for internet services. And depends on which service you have, especially as it pertains to internet and where you are. You know, it may depend on like how much service you can get or your connectivity availability.
Right.
But as far as electricity, everything is kind of like a prepaid. So you may put a certain amount of money, what they call cash, like onto your cash power, and that will, you know, last for a certain amount of time. Depends on how much you're turning your lights on, if you're running fans, if you got your if you got your air conditioner going. All of these may take into account how much, you know, cash power one may need to sustain themselves for a month or for, you know,
and you can pay it up like by the week, weekly, monthly.
That's the internet. So you can have an internet plan.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you can have an internet plan.
That's the weekly,
and you can kind of pay by like pay as you go. And what I love about that is that you can control how much you're spending on these different things. Whereas in the States,
so it helps you be more mindful of your resources.
You may open
Turn them lights out.
You may open that electricity bill like, whoa, what the heck happened this summer? And I've heard stories about people who are talking about the bills this summer going up way crazy. But, you know, here you have the opportunity to control how much you spend towards, you know, electricity, towards your internet. The water is the one thing that is almost a given, depends on where you are. They have what they call boreholes, which is a system that allows water to be extracted, you know, from the earth and up into a tank, and it holds the water for you and distributes it to your house. Now,
so you have a constant supply with that.
Right.
Yeah.
There are also local taps, which villagers or people in different areas, neighborhoods, will take buckets and go fill those buckets up with water and then take them back to their homes, you know, to bathe, to wash their hands, to cook, to all that kind of stuff.
So that's common in some villages to go fetch water versus having running tap water in your space. And then also, like with the cash power, that is a like quantity based thing. Like there's a meter attached to it, so like outside of your house, your compound, or wherever, there'll be a meter that reads the specific amount that you have available.
How much you got left.
So you want to, as soon as you get to about 30, what's the measurements they use?
We'll just say 30
volts.
30
I don't know, whatever it is. Yeah, that's.
But there's a number. You'll see a number. And when that number says 30, put a little bit more on it.
Yeah.
You got 30
You
seconds
don't want to
left.
be out of cash power. You don't want to be out of cash power. So, but there are also, like our goal is to be completely off grid and have solar powered everything. So that is in existence here in some places. There's some solar companies here that we've seen. But yeah, that's the goal. The ultimate goal is to receive our power from the sun, natural electricity. We talked about the internet. Wi-Fi can be a little, spotty. Little 3G.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes 4.
Yeah. You may have to even get multiple internet companies.
Right.
Because
As a
sometimes
backup
maybe if one
system.
tower is down, or you don't have a backup, you're just down until that company decides to pick up again. But if you have a backup, or if you have a different service to replace that one, you can kind of save yourself from being kicked out of your work spaces, or if you're doing a lot of meeting and conferencing online. It can just help you to not be in a situation where you just only got one option, and when that option's over with, then you're kind of stuck. So just do your research. There are lots of companies here who can give you more information about what their plans are and how they can help you. Just keep coverage wherever you are. But just something to consider as you use these different services here.
Yeah, and then also if you're on the local water system, or like the city system, it's called NAWEC is the acronym, but the water and electricity are connected. So if the power go out, then you may not have water as well, because those systems are tied in together. So that's something to also be mindful of. And yeah, but we haven't had any significant issues really at all. I mean, if we're out in a place or wherever, or at the house, and there's a power outage, we haven't had any power outages at the house, but in a public place we have, like at the restaurant.
And they had a backup generator. It was
they did.
On right
and the
away.
lady told me she was taking our order, and I was like, are we good to order? Can y'all make that?
Mind you, they don't even blink.
Yeah,
it's
she was still. It was dark,
she
and
was
she was still
sitting there
writing
okay,
down.
how can I help you?
And we looking around
is everything okay around?
I'm like, is the stove running?
Yeah, she's like, this is normal. We're used to this.
She was just like, in 2 minutes.
Or
just give
less.
it 2, and it was literally back up in 2 minutes or less, so it was no problem. But just, don't panic if something like that happens. It's totally normal, and it's okay. Santa Yala. Our phone service. So we still have our AT&T phone plan, which we have an international plan for that. So we can talk, like normal. We have our same phone numbers, but we will be getting a local number soon as well. So that's something else to note, that you can still have your U.S. number, your +1 number here. We use a lot of WhatsApp to communicate with the locals because it's free. Not all of the locals have WhatsApp, but that's something that we do use on a daily basis. And if not, then they'll just have their local number, but we'll be getting that set up soon. And I just to add into all of that, talk about resources here in Africa, right? It may sound, I don't know how it sounds to y'all, if it sounds bad or whatever, but Africa is not a poor, it's not a poor continent. That's what we see on TV. There are some places that may not, be so developed, so just have those material things. But just saying all of that to say that Africa has a vast amount of resources and abundance here. There are some very wealthy places in Africa, just depending on where you are, so it's important to shift the mindset of what we think about Africa when we think about not having water or electricity. Just the way of life.
Just different.
Just being able
what's
to
important
adapt
to you
wherever
may not
you
be
are.
important to somebody
Right.
else.
Yeah. But just be adaptable.
nature, animal, insects. There's, and I'm gonna probably put some little clips of some of the different creatures we've seen since we've been here.
And we've seen some creatures.
And they are everywhere, everywhere. Animals everywhere. In your house, in your car, on the street. I mean, this is like one place that I've never seen, like, even the animals, like, just as free as the people. Like, you have goats, goats, cows,
a lot of cows, a lot
horses,
of goats,
donkeys, and everything, just like walking
around. But them donkeys
around.
is working.
Yeah, the donkeys,
they not just
be on the job.
Yeah,
for sure.
they on the job.
But most of the animals are not corralled, or like they're not in cages, or like
they just
pens.
roam freely, like literally.
And they know where they go. They know where they live too.
Yeah.
So after they done grazing for the day or hanging under the beach,
yeah.
They going right back to where they're supposed to be.
So if you come to visit the Gambia, Coastal Road is a long highway.
You're gonna see everything on that highway.
You're gonna see those cows live on Coastal Road, literally right. In the middle of the highway. They resting, relaxing. It's a dirt road primarily, but they may go to the side and get some grass. They're grazing. So yeah, the cows live on the road and just around the area.
There are rats here.
Yeah. Ooh, I haven't seen one. Thank the Lord.
Bingo big. Yeah. And just it's so everything.
How many you've seen? Like three.
At least three. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen.
And the
none.
fact that everything is so normalized, like even kids here. Little boys specifically, we heard stories about the little kids catching these rats and grilling them. And
yes,
you hearing me say
grilling.
that? You hearing me say that, right? A grilled rat, right? Yeah, it's normal. People here, it's okay. Even we're thinking, oh, that's gross, but the person who's telling us the story was also telling us that, yeah, I did that when I was young
too. It's normal.
too.
The kids catch the rats for fun, and they eat them.
So
yeah.
You can't really be, you can be, but, it'd be in your best interest to, like, kind of temper your fear of certain animals and insects, because they're just everywhere.
They live here.
They live in places you wouldn't even think they would be living. The other day I opened up the curtain, and that lizard just walking up the wall, like, okay. And then another one jumped on my shirt, and I didn't even flinch. I was like, okay, yeah. Watch out, little fella. But, just being mindful that you're going to see some things, some animals, some creatures, some insects, some bugs that you've probably never seen before or never been that close to before. Mm-hmm. And they are out here in large quantities. Mm-hmm.
So many beautiful birds. This is the bird expert right here.
Yeah.
But we have so many beautiful birds.
We'll do a different video about
Gambia.
some of the birds and things that I've come to discover here so far.
Like, we've seen so many new ones, like, that we haven't seen before. And yeah, we love birds. What else have we seen? So you won't see, like, East Africa, that's where you'll see, like, the lions, the zebras.
There are no predators
the,
here.
Elephants. Yeah, no predators here. The hyenas, like, so that's East Africa. But here, West Africa, you will see crocodiles. There's a specific place, though, where the crocodiles are. They're not just freely roaming around that we know of, at least. But there's also the store.
Wow. I'm gonna put that in this video too, just that little clip. We heard okay.
Go ahead and tell the story.
Okay, we were at a place called Calypso Beach, and in Calypso Beach they have an area that is like circled off like a pond, and there are a few alligators that live in there. And they have these little cabanas that are near the pond, and some lady brought her dog with her. The dog got curious. The dog went in to see what was in the water, and the alligator got the dog.
The dog didn't come back.
The dog didn't make it out of that alive.
Oh, it's right there.
Yeah. You see that's where you feed them, and the crocodile got the head. That's the end of the story.
Ah, man, whoa.
That's the end of the story.
That's the end of the story. Crocodile. This is not the crocodile pool though.
No, right.
Not where they're nice.
But we have to go to the crocodile pool.
Yeah,
If
we
you
went
read.
there.
Yeah.
Like Katikali.
Practically, yeah.
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 And the
you
head was
guys,
snatched.
yeah, all that.
Yeah, it was like
And that was the end of
it
the
was
story.
the saddest. It was the saddest, funniest thing like we've ever heard.
It was, yeah, it was painful.
And the way that they told the story made it even more hilarious. But it was the lady's dog. Like
yeah,
that was her
just
baby.
It was her fault too. She was being negligent. We heard
and
that she was also
intoxicated.
like drinking and just like not being very aware, and
Yeah.
that's what happens. But there are a lot of things out here that can hurt you, and you got to be cautious of that too.
Can't see it. Don't even
Just
be that
just
curious.
gotta be careful. You just gotta be careful.
There are a lot of monkeys here.
Mhm.
A lot of monkeys here.
We visited the monkey park the last
yeah.
time we came.
Yeah, monkeys is like my favorite animal. What else that we've really seen? As far as just nature in general, there are fruit trees everywhere. You can walk out on the street and pick you a mango. It's not mango season right now, which I'm so sad about, but they'll come back in May. But banana trees everywhere. There are literally in front of us 3 coconut trees, but they're all around. Baobab trees. They're
Neem trees.
neem trees, which for malaria, neem.
Pineapple.
Pineapple.
I mean,
like,
you name it.
So
really.
many things. So many things.
This is a very nurturing land, and a lot of things here are life-giving
Yeah.
and provide some level of help to your body. And that's another thing that we'll be doing a little later is getting into the herbs that are available here and some of the things that Africa has to offer as far as just
Healing.
natural healing remedies
Yeah.
and properties.
Yeah. Plants are medicine.
Talking about music next. We've heard some of the most beautiful music, just cultural vibes. They have a lot of local instruments. One of the ones we've taken a liking to is called the kora.
Yes. which I will
Jessica's
be-
actually going to be learning how to
I'm
play.
a student. I'm
Maybe
a
she'll
kora
be teaching me
student.
too.
It's a very beautiful instrument. It's actually like a harp,
It's like a harp. Guitar,
harp/guitar. Man, so dope.
piano, keyboard. It's a beautiful instrument.
Very beautiful.
And I'm going to send a clip now of Jessica playing a little bit. Oh, she didn't know that, but it's coming. Yeah. Play from the heart.
You want to sing as well? Sing.
I have to sing as well.
Mary had a little lamb. Little lamb.
What's a good song?
He's doing something, you know?
It sounds good.
Don't blame me.
I'm just finding the sounds.
You sound professional.
I know how to hold it.
But yeah, she sounded like a pro the first time she picked the thing up. There's always that influence of Jamaica, as we talked about before. So lots of reggae music, lots of Afro beats, lots of different, even music just from the land. A lot of Gambian traditional cultural sounds.
Local.
Yeah.
I mean, just traditional African music in general.
love. I mean, a lot of them love hip hop music.
Man, they love Tupac.
You know, just love
Tupac.
love everything the states are bringing out.
Yeah.
So it's really cool just to have that diverse appeal to music, because I mean, music just
It's so universal.
it's what connects everybody
Exactly.
anyway, and it's just cool to see that no matter where you go, even here in Africa, you can pretty much hear all the music you would hear back home.
Mm-hmm.
And they know the words even more than you do. So
I was gonna, when we were at the play, we were at Rio's a few weeks ago, and they was playing Nene. And I sent my cousin a video clip of that, because that was her, you know, she a dancer and she be grooving and all of that. So I sent her a little clip of them, of a recording of them playing Nene. So that was pretty funny. Yeah, so you'll hear a lot of different things.
Traffic. Speaking of music, lots of music you hear while you're driving with drivers. Gambia also has a very nice local radio station.
They have 8 of them.
And they don't, everything just like it came out the studio is how you're going to hear it on the radio. But anyway, driving in traffic, we talked about navigating through some of the roads and how sometimes you can't even tell whether you're coming or going, because you have cars, you know, coming your way. You got cars, you know, in front of you,
There
behind
are no
you,
traffic
going around
rules.
you.
Traffic rules?
No such thing as traffic
What is
rules.
that?
There's most people get around here on the taxi system, and if you are somebody taking the local taxi, you can get a taxi for as low as 10 dalasi. And when I put the value of that on the screen, you're not going to believe it, but listen, you can take a car, maybe several cars, at the most I would say maybe 5 to get to where you're going. But that could cost you up to 50 dollars, and you've traveled miles, you know, and been in traffic, and it's been a lot of time and all that. But it's very cheap to travel by a local taxi. Now, if you have a driver, somebody that's taking you places throughout the day,
Like a private driver
is
who
going to
spends
drop
the day
you
with
off,
you.
is going to hang out, going to wait for you, going to you know, hang around until you finish doing whatever you're doing. You know, that could be a bit more expensive. And we'll kind of give you some estimates on pricing for that.
Yeah, but still cheaper than
Definitely cheaper than
Uber,
Uber,
Lyft,
cheaper than Lyft,
yeah.
cheaper than all of that. So it's still reasonable, but you know, it can definitely cost you more than 50 dalasi than, you know, having somebody actually stay there, pick you up right from your door, you know, wait on you where you're going, and also take you back home.
They may literally spend the whole day with you, like running errands or just doing whatever it is that you have to do. So
And they are not bothered by it.
No, they're not. It's just, you know,
It's normal.
It's normal, and it's convenient, you know, for us not having to catch multiple taxis. So it just depends on, you know, how you want to budget and what you want to experience as far as that. But the driving thing, that's I won't be driving in Africa anywhere, especially not in Gambia. It can be dangerous also, because you have people walking. Children walk by themselves, as far as like to and from school or just wherever they're going. There's a lot of that. So we've seen a lot of things as far as wrecks, motorcycles.
God, yeah.
We saw what was that, yesterday or the day before? We
Terrible
saw
wreck.
a whole motorcycle like stuck underneath a car. So I guess that was the guy who was trying to get it out, like pull it out. So if that was him, he was okay. But yeah, not good. We've seen another terrible wreck the other day as well. But
just when you're navigating, just be careful.
Yeah.
Because
And-
accidents can happen at any moment.
for real.
Because nobody has a sense of, you know, who has the right of way, who has, you know, there are just no boundaries when it comes to driving out here.
And there are driving schools. We've passed by some shops that had a sign that said driving schools. We don't know what that enforcement is like or what it takes to get a license. We haven't looked that far yet, but there's really no standard as far as we can see that's in place. Yeah, but traffic jams, that's like, it's kind of on a whole nother level from
Yeah, it's not
what
the
you would
same.
experience in the States. So it's really like you have to only plan one thing a day, because you might only do that one thing a day based on the traffic. But if you say you want to do multiple things, it may not happen.
You got to start very early in the morning.
Start very early in the morning and just take it slowly, because things are a lot more slow here. And yeah, you just want to be able to plan your time around that.
Yeah, so all in all, we've had a really great journey here so far, just kind of taking it slow and getting to know things, and we're very happy to have a lot of you joining us and being a part of our journey as you have been with us from the start of it. And we feel blessed just to be able to have this opportunity and to also bring in people who are now, even wanting to do the same things or thinking about traveling outside of the U.S., just building that bridge for others to experience what life is like in Africa or abroad.
Like this video.
Like this video,
if
share
you are
with
still
a
watching,
friend.
you should have liked it a long time
Subscribe.
ago.
Oh yeah, you should have waved.
As a matter of fact, for future references, as soon as you click that play button, go ahead and like the video, because you know it's gonna be some good stuff.
And it don't cost you nothing.
It don't
It's
cost
free.
you not a dime, not a penny.
The
not a
love is
nickel.
free. Love is free.
The love is free, and we appreciate.
So we'll be sharing more on our social media platforms. Of course, follow me at PH_D_T, and my wife here at
Womb Nurse Spiritualist on YouTube, Instagram. Yeah, Black Fruit International on Instagram and TikTok. We'll put some stuff on there soon, but go ahead and follow us so you'll be ready when we
when we drop
ready.
that first thing, you're gonna be like, wow, that's a TikTok. Okay, family. Well, until next time, enjoy these videos, and we're gonna leave here for you to enjoy and share our experiences here. And we look forward to seeing you on the next one.